All right. Well, welcome everyone to our 2021 LCAP presentation. Thanks for joining us. We'll give everybody a few more seconds to get on, and then we'll get started. We will have someone monitoring the chat, so if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we will address those at the end. We have some important people joining us tonight. So Dr. Hennings, thank you for being here, our executive director, and Mrs. McDermott, our elementary principal, is here as well, and Miss Pasolini, who is our communications director. So thank you all for being here. All right. So we're going to go through just a little bit of background information on the LCAP and why we are going through this today. Well, if I could get my slides to advance, we would. There we go. So a little background information on what the LCAP is. It is a 3-year plan. LCAP stands for Local Control Accountability Plan. So it's a 3-year plan that we're currently working with, and it describes how Santa Rosa will use the funds, the local control funding formula, or LCFF funds, that is revised every year by the state and adopted annually. So we take feedback from all of our stakeholders, which includes all of you, parents, staff, board members, community members, along with proven learning strategies, and we create a plan that will support all students. So there's a graphic at the bottom that kind of shows you what the steps are. We review our previous LCAP, which last year the state waived the LCAP requirement for schools because of the pandemic and the school closures. So that's the step 1, is to review our plan from the previous year. Step 2 is we talk to all of our stakeholders. So that's what we're going to focus on tonight, our feedback we got from our stakeholders, and then we draft a plan. Stakeholders are able to make comments on the plan, and then we take our plan to the public hearing. So that will be happening on May 20th at our board meeting, and then it's adopted by our board. Just to go over a little bit of what we're going to talk about tonight. So the state gives us 8 required priorities that we need to address in our LCAP. So you'll see our goals we're going to talk about cover these. So student engagement is one of them. Student achievement is another. School climate, basic services, the Common Core state standards, and access to broad curriculum, parental involvement, and other student outcomes. So those are the focuses of our goals that we're going to be and our actions we're going to develop. So we sent a survey out several weeks ago to the parents, and this was the data about who responded to our survey. So you can see we have a good breakdown of the grade levels from TK to 12th grade, and then also the tracks. The majority of the parents who answered, families who answered, were from the blue track, but we have about 20% of our white track and 21% of our red track. So goal area number 1, which is just a broad goal, is going over academic achievement. So a couple of the questions we asked stakeholders was if they're happy with their child's academic performance. And so we're happy to report that 85% of our stakeholders were happy with their students' academic performance, and 82% reported that their students' academic needs are being met. So that's excellent data for us. However, we are still looking at academic achievement as a big goal area for our LCAP this year. Obviously, we know that we have some things to address with the distance learning and our school closures. So we know this is an area we're going to need to support students in the coming years and beyond. Our second goal area had to do with meeting individual student needs. So we ask our stakeholders if their students' personal needs are being met. And 88% of our stakeholders felt that their students' personal needs were being met. We also asked if their child had the opportunity to try new things at school. So 68% of you all felt that your students had the opportunity to try new things. So that's definitely an area that we are planning to focus on with our actions. We also asked stakeholders if they had any additional course offerings they would like us to be able to offer for students. And These were some of the suggestions: foreign language, life skills, finance, music, and sports for elementary. And I'm happy to report that life skills and finance are already an area of focus for us. And we are definitely taking the feedback for the other suggestions as well. Goal number 3 has to do with stakeholder involvement being something that's really important to the state as well as to Santa Rosa. And so some of the questions we asked were, does your family feel welcome at SRA? And 83% of our respondents said that their child feels welcome at SRA. We also asked if SRA does a good job with community building activities. And so 74% of you felt that we do a good job with those. Of course, we were taking into account this year that we couldn't really have as many events as we would like to, or really very many at all. We asked if Santa Rosa gives the opportunity to voice ideas that will enhance your child's success, and 68% of you felt that you have the opportunity to voice your ideas. So that's definitely an area we want to focus on. We want to see that percentage much higher and get you all involved in your child's success. And then 68% of you felt like your voice or your input matters at Santa Rosa. So again, areas for us to focus on as we develop actions to meet this goal of involving all of our stakeholders. We ask our community if Santa Rosa did a good job of communicating events and how to get involved, and 68% of you felt that we did do a good job of that. We also asked if there were enough activities at school to build upon the school community. So 66% of you said yes. And again, taking into account the kind of year we've had, but we're excited for next year and being able to get back to something a little more normal and offer those activities. And then we ask if your child wants to go to school, feels like they have to go to school, or wants to go to school. And we're excited that 74% of you said that your children feel like they want to be at school. And we also ask about parent workshops. We're always interested in bringing in parents. And so 30% of you said that you would attend a parent workshop. So our last goal area has to do with being a clean and safe school. So we're excited about the responses for this, that almost 79% of you feel like our facilities are very clean, and 21% said mostly clean. So that was good data for us to look at, and also how safe you feel the facilities are. So almost 72% of you feel like they're very safe, and 22% mostly safe. So taking those things into consideration, obviously we're always doing maintenance and upgrades to our facilities, and a couple of the areas that we are working on have to do with replacing classroom flooring, rejuvenating the tile stairs near the tech center, installing the bollard posts at drop-off locations for safety, shade coverings on the elementary patios, and additional security gates as well. So the last bit of information I have for you, and then I'll take questions, just as a little plug for our summer academy. The state did come up a few weeks ago and is offering some grant money to schools that are willing to extend the learning. So we are going to hop on that as well. We really want our students to have an opportunity to come and get some learning and some socialization this summer. And so we are going to offer a summer academy, summer school program. But what we need from you is to follow the link and fill out the interest form so that we can plan for the summer program. So the summer program will include many things depending on interest. Some of them have to do with filling learning gaps that students may have from the past year. Also enrichment activities, art and physical activities, credit recovery as well for our high school students, and socialization, of course, which is important. So please fill out that interest form. We'll have Ms. Pasolini put it in the chat for those of you that have joined us, so you can click on it and we will be sharing it as well. So are there any questions? Does anyone have any questions about anything I've presented or anything related to LCAP? All right, it doesn't look like we have any questions in the chat. We will hang out for a few minutes and in case any of you think of something, and we will also be posting this recording up on Parent Square for anybody that missed it. So I appreciate you joining us tonight. We know it's family time, it's dinner time, so we appreciate you being here. And please reach out if you have any questions. I will go back to the first slide. My contact information is on the first slide. So feel free to give me a call or send me an email. And we appreciate you being here.
Mrs. Aguilar, there actually are a couple questions in the chat, and I'm going to go ahead and read those.
Wonderful.
Yes, the first question is, I heard the state is giving schools funding for things like summer school. Yes, that is correct. And we're going to be, just as Mrs. Aguilar spoke briefly, we are doing a summer school enrichment for our elementary students. And then we're going to be doing a more of a credit recovery or students who had struggled passing their classes for both middle and high school. And then the next question is, can any student go to summer school or just ones that are behind? That's also an excellent question. And I can go ahead and answer that. And the answer to that is for elementary, we are opening it to all students, specifically those who were behind or would like to just come and get enrichment. You don't have to have any specific academic and or behavioral requirements. It's open to all. However, for middle school and high school, we are highly encouraging / wanting / telling students who didn't do well in school, have any D's or F's, that we would really like you to participate in summer school to make up those missing grades and missing curriculum.
Definitely. And we're hoping to offer some enrichment activities for our older ones as well. Again, depending on interests. So please fill out the form so that we know that you would like your students to be here. Are there any other questions, Mrs. Mack?
There are not. That is it for the evening.
Okay. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Hennings and Mrs. Pasolini and Mrs. McDermott and everyone else. And have a great evening.
Have a good night.